a pet's life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.
And a very good morning to you, and a day late, but it is a bank holiday, so we always throw it out on the Wednesday regardless. So it's a very good morning to Des Groom. Hello to Des.
How are you, John? Great to be here, thanks.
Glad. You got a lot of paperwork in front of you there.
I wanted to talk about pet insurance again. So I brought some of the facts and figures and bits and pieces to remind myself of the important stuff to talk about. So many questions in relation to pet insurance came up on the last show that I said we'd delve into it again.
And it's traditionally that time of the year, really, people kind of look at that type of thing. Or with pet insurance, is it any time of the year?
Well, if you have it, you should keep it and make sure you've ticked the rollover box and keep it going. And all new pets, it's something to take on board with the new pet. Now, typically in Ireland, our insurance rates for pets are low, they're poor. It's something that...
Sorry, low is...
Low rates. Not enough people.
Rates, not enough. Okay.
Not enough people take out pet insurance. Typically. We're happy-go-lucky, I think, as a nation of pet owners, and there's an assumption that if the dog or the cat gets sick, he'll go to the vet and it'll be sorted and it'll be grand.
Yeah.
But the vet bills now can often be serious, can often be very high, and that's because of, for multiple reasons, vet bills are going up and they will continue to go up. So that's why for all new pet owners, be wary of these things and do take it out because it's great value.
Well, they were saying that medicines for pets are definitely gone up and gone up across the globe as well. Just curious, do Ireland produce their own medicines that come in from Europe, that come in from China, that come in from the States? Where would they come in from?
Yeah, we're vulnerable on a cost level because they're coming in from abroad. They're made in factories in Poland, China, all over the world. Greece, Turkey, you name it. Right. All kinds of places where generic animal medicines are made and then repackaged and relabelled often several times before they arrive and they're branded by an Irish company. Okay. So layers of cost added on to the medications, and a significant driver of cost in animal medicines is the fact that each animal medicine has to be separately licensed.
Okay, right.
And there's a cost to the licensing.
Right.
So you have to buy and pay for a licence and submit your test results, submit your trials for your medication every single time to be approved by the Medicines Board of each country that you sell it in.
Yeah.
So when Ireland being an island, so you have transportation costs, then you have licensing costs, then there's the size of the market here, being a small enough country. Yeah. And if they say, we're only going to sell, say, however many 100 bottles of that stuff a year in Ireland, because it's a particular medicine, antibiotic licence for a dog, we're not going to sell much of it. But the licence costs us so many thousands to get.
Makes sense, yeah.
They factor that in. So if the market is small, the medication becomes more expensive.
Okay. And that does make sense, I think, in the greater scheme of things. But when you look at pet insurance to where it was even 5 years ago, it has improved. Yeah, it's
improved in the terms of standard of services that owners get. Lots of these pet insurance companies now have a vet helpline, which is a kind of a telemedicine service. Yeah. Where, you see, strategically it's very clever for them to do that because maybe they keep the number of claims down if they provide a vet helpline. So they do. Yeah. You can ring up any hour, but a little bit like the way if you have your car insurance, you have an AA service, an AA helpline will help you with breakdown. So these pet insurance companies have a vet helpline. They'll give you advice out of hours and help you decide if you need to go to the vet or not today or tomorrow or whatever. Okay,
is there basic things, just see a question coming in, the first question regarding it, is there basic things that pet insurance does not cover?
It doesn't cover the annual vaccination, which is going to be the guts of €100 a year for all the shots. And the pet insurance won't cover those.
Because it's not considered a sickness or an ailment?
Exactly, it's not a sickness or an ailment. But here's where the snag is, like every insurance company that can be sticky. And their get-out clause is, if you don't keep that up, they won't cover a claim.
No, they won't.
Yeah, that's the issue there.
Catch-22. So basically it's costing you the price of insurance plus your £100 to...
Yeah, but like for that, your vet will give you a check-up and the whole thing. So that your vaccination visit is an MOT for the dog, for the pet for the year.
What about the types of different insurances there?
Well, there are 3 levels, right? You have accident only. Yeah. So that would just cover trauma, hit by a car. Emergencies. Yeah. Then you have lifetime cover, and that'll be at a low cost, but you can't get out of it.
Yeah, right, okay.
And with the lifetime cover, euthanasia, all the end of life stuff would be covered as well, and probably
would be worth
cremation
it,
would be worth it. And then there's the one that you could just take out for a year, for a specific illness or whatever, or issue.
Okay, that's kind of an accident and illness one, is it?
Yeah.
And is there one that's over here or over the UK or wherever else called wellness coverage? Because when I was Googling this, it came up on a couple of sites in Ireland, and it came up on UK, and it came up on the States. I don't know what wellness cover is. I've no idea. I see it cropping up.
So wellness cover typically is, if you're seeing websites like that have a kind of a corporate feel to them, that would be linked to one of the big vet chains.
Right, yeah.
Now, wellness cover in general means that any good modern progressive practice now has a wellness plan. We call it the pet plan, or the Healthy Pet Club in our practice. So we do a €30 a month premium health plan for dogs and cats and puppies and seniors.
Yeah.
And for the 30 a month, the dogs get all their vax, free consultations, free warmers, free flea treatments, free nail clips, and anal gland checks and ear cleaning.
Okay.
And all the checkups and all the visits required. So any type of a thing on the veterinary side that's a preventative health service is on a wellness plan.
Yeah.
The private vet practices do those.
Right, okay.
We have a great one in Kildare Vet Surgery, 30 a month, covers all that stuff, free consults.
Right, okay.
What we do bill you for is medicine that the animal might need arising from an examination or a treatment.
Okay, right. You identified as an issue, and that's what you would... no different than going to the doctor.
So that's what the wellness plan is.
Yeah, okay, very good. It's interesting. It's something that I think is going to progress. As pet owners get older, does the insurance rise a bit like adults?
Yeah, it does. It rises a bit.
Okay.
It rises after 8.
Is that because it's deemed midlife? Or mid to late?
Yeah, now, it could go up a little. It might only go up 10%.
Right. It
doesn't go up much. But what I have noticed with them is they don't put an appreciable hike on that would cause you to let it go. But what they do is they make you pay for 40% of the vet care.
Right. So it's a bit like kind of I suppose claiming off an insurance, you have to, what's it called?
And the excess.
The excess. It's a bit like an excess.
So you have that built-in excess as the animal gets past 8 years of age. And that's because they know that inevitably your dog will be in and out, cat, and there'll be bits and pieces to do. Yeah. And there'll be vet care. And they'll know that. Now, those that have insurance then will use it, and those dogs get great senior care. And the owners pay 40% as opposed to the 100%. But if you do the maths, it's still very worthwhile having the insurance for the 8-year-old dog going forward.
Okay, Marjorie was on. She says that she's had pet insurance for the last 4 years, and it actually gets better as the animals get older. She would advise people who do have dogs or whatever to make sure that they do invest in pet insurance. It is the future. Yeah,
she's right there. And something I thought of the other day, because completely unrelated, but the insurance, in terms of making a parallel between different types of insurance, the van was broken into outside the gym over Christmas.
Yours?
Yeah. And they opened up the lock of the back door as if they were opening a can with a can opener. I'm not joking you.
Right.
To get in, and robbed a couple of bits out of the back of the van, nothing much. A chainsaw, would you believe? That I had for the yard.
Chainsaw.
Robbed out of the back of the van.
A few quid for that, yeah.
But did a lot of damage to the locking mechanism and the back door. So the whole back door had to be replaced.
Right, okay.
And I was frightened of losing my no claims bonus. So I just paid for it. I didn't put through an insurance claim.
Right, okay.
And I said to myself, the difference between this and pet insurance is maybe there are pet owners out there that aren't using their insurance because they're afraid of losing it.
Right.
Or afraid of needing it. And I just thought I'd say there today, there actually is no such thing as a no claims bonus.
Right.
In pet insurance.
Okay.
There isn't.
Okay, right.
So there's no reason for you, if you have it, not to use it.
Yeah.
So get it and use it. And it's a useful thing. And you won't be like me with the van, afraid to pay out the $2,000 yourself because you're afraid to make a claim. No, people, if they have it, they should claim.
Is there such thing as kind of a health declaration where if you're saying going from one insurance company to another and say you're moving the following year, a bit like getting of getting quotes on any type of insurance, and you decide to go to a different supplier this time round, a different insurance company.
Yeah.
And if, say, there was an ailment or a sickness within your dog, or do you have to declare it?
You do, because they will insist on receiving a copy of all the previous medical records, veterinary records.
Okay.
And so any little thing will show up, and there is the opportunity then for the insurance company to exclude arthritis from your policy, or exclude skin allergies, or exclude an ear problem. And one of the things they exclude there, for instance, right, if you have a pug or a French bulldog, they're the dogs with the squashed faces, the ones that I use the term brachycephalic.
Yeah.
They get breathing difficulties, and high numbers of these dogs nowadays have to have surgery on their soft palate and on their larynx.
Okay.
The word for that is, the veterinary term for that surgery is called the BOAS surgery, which stands for brachycephalic obstructive airway syndrome, BOAS. So BOAS surgeries on brachycephalic dogs, Frenchies and pugs, etc. The ones with the squashed noses that need to have their nostrils widened and need to have their vocal cords widened, need to have their soft palate treated and so on. Those surgeries, airway surgeries, are excluded from insurance policies.
Okay.
Which is a pity, but it's understandable.
Okay, Audrey's on. She's out in Kilcock, and she says, I logged in online to a pet company called petinsurance.ie. I found them very good. The only thing I didn't understand is what does Premier Plus mean. I know you mightn't even know stuff like that. Yeah. But I was told that it helps with boarding, kennels and cattery fees. Yeah,
I have a few bits about that. There are additional benefits to these. All these companies have a Premium Plus or a Premium option, and they'll cover if your dog gets sick and you have to cancel a holiday. Yeah, they'll refund you part of your holiday costs. They'll help you with boarding.
The holiday costs on the animal.
Boarding kennels. Boarding kennel fees can be covered if your dog has to be kennelled because of an emergency or a crisis. The other things in the premium plan is if your dog is the cause of an accident on the road. There's a third party cover element to that. Because it's something people should be wary of, particularly nowadays. Roads are so busy. If your dog is alleged to cause an accident on the road through breaking out of your yard and running across the road, and somebody has to brake suddenly and gets into an accident because the dog ran out across the road in front of them, if by any chance your dog was identified and caught, you're liable as the owner of a... It's a little bit like the old law around livestock. Farmers are liable for accident and injury caused by cattle, sheep and horses on the road if the animals are unaccompanied. Now, somebody can herd cattle from one side of a farm to another down a road. You'll often see dairy cattle crossing the road, going from one side of the farm to another, to and from the parlour. And if they're accompanied by the farmer, then they're covered under insurance. But if they, by perchance, broke out unaccompanied, then they're not covered. So your dog is the same. If your dog causes an accident off the lead or unaccompanied, you're liable. But some of these premium insurance plans provide a level of cover in those situations. Okay,
that makes sense as well. Another one coming in. Hi guys, just to let you know that some dogs are covered more so than others, and others are less covered. Is there such thing as breed-specific health risks?
Yeah, there are breed-specific health risks. So golden retrievers rather than Labradors actually seem to have the highest incidence of claims as they get older. Okay. So they're more expensive to insure.
Okay.
Dachshunds or little sausage dogs are more expensive to insure because they have higher claims. Okay. So certain types of injuries and diseases that are common in different breeds might be more expensive to treat, and that drives up the cost. And mixed breed dogs are cheaper. Okay, no doubt about it.
As your old-fashioned mongrel.
Yeah, the old-fashioned mongrel, the collie cross type of a mongrel. If you put in mixed breed, crossbreed, small mixed breed, medium mixed breed, you know, it's only going to be 20, 22, significantly cheaper.
Right, another question after coming in. What about family insurance for multiple dogs?
Yeah, there is. They nearly all offer a multi-pet discount. I'm going through them here. Petinsurance.ie. I have a nice spreadsheet here which gives me the things that are on it now, for instance, right? Petinsurance.ie, On Post, Allianz, Agria, Blue Insurance, they all have multi-pet discount. 3 out of the 5 have a 24/7 vet helpline. 3 out of the 5 will pay the vet directly. and a couple of them have 1, 2, 3 out of the 6. Yeah, there are 3 cover levels with pet insurance and Allianz and Agria. There are 3 different cover levels where you could go from standard to premium.
Yeah, that makes sense as well.
There's a discount for microchipped ones, microchip pets. A couple of them offer cover abroad for loss of a pet passport, which is an interesting one. Again, if you go down through the reviews, as with any insurance company, there's a complaint that they're slow enough to pay, but oftentimes they're slow to pay because there's a difficulty in processing all the information and getting all the info back from the vets.
So how does it work regarding, so if you have pet insurance and you have a sick animal, do you go in, you pay your fees, and say you send out a bill for 300 or 400 quid for the sick animal or whatever the case, do you then go back and claim back the money off your pet insurance, or do you do it a bit like kind of going to VHI or getting a scan or whatever else, and you can just give them a number and away you go?
So routine small bits and pieces, we ask the owners to pay as they go.
Okay.
And accumulate their invoices and their veterinary records and claim off their insurance companies periodically, i.e. a few times a year themselves.
Okay.
And that's the best way to do that when the amount of money involved is small, and hopefully the insurance company will only take the excess off you once.
Okay.
Now, in the case of a very serious surgery or an accident where costs are going to be big and there's going to be a one-off lump sum of a big vet bill of a few thousand.
Yeah.
What we do then is we ring the insurance company. We provide some level of pre-invoicing.
Yeah.
We get clearance from the insurance company that they're going to pay it.
Yeah.
And then we as vets bill the insurance company if it's in excess of a few grand, because it's a lot for somebody to have to come up with all of a sudden in one go. And if we can get pre-clearance for a one-off big invoice, then we will get the vets, the insurance company, to pay us vets directly.
And does it work at end of life? So end of life, unfortunately, does happen. We all know that it does. And you have your insurance. How does that work?
Yeah, these premium plans. Well, you see, hopefully, fingers crossed, you've been providing good senior care to your dog and submitting claims regularly enough. And then the end of life care is part of an overall claim. And there's never an issue with it, and they might cover cremation and the whole lot as well.
Okay. Just a couple of questions, separate questions on this. Just 2 quick questions before we wrap it up for today.
Good.
There's been a bit of confusion in the papers and on social media over the last couple of weeks over the XL scenarios.
All right.
Where are we at with that?
Yeah, so there's a group of charities have received.
It hasn't been thought through properly.
Yeah, they've received. Look, it has been thought through properly. You've had committees of government vets and government health professionals put a year or so into thrashing this out. They did think it through.
Yeah.
People who don't like it say it wasn't thought through but the bigger picture is it's the public good versus just the needs of the animal, and they have to take public good into account, not just the needs of the particular animal.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
and so there are a number of charities out there, and what they've done is they've managed to get an injunction that they don't have to euthanise XL bullies that are in care already.
Okay.
Until they manage to find either good homes or reship them out to charities abroad that'll rehome them. So they've managed to achieve a delay in terms of the euthanising of ones that are already in care.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, nobody has to euthanise one if it's a safe, good pet.
But just because it's in care doesn't mean that it didn't come from had problems before it went into care.
One of the issues I have, again, looking at it and thinking of the big picture rather than just the poor animal involved. When an animal arrives into a shelter, you do not know its history.
Yeah.
So nobody you can spend a few weeks with a dog and get to know the dog, but you still cannot guarantee how what it's like and how its previous conditioning is going to affect its future behaviour.
Okay, that makes sense. One final question. I don't know whether you have the answer for this. When is the new law in when only a vet can worm your horse?
No, I don't know about that. I don't know the exact date.
Okay.
And that's not going to be the case, by the way. No, the wording on that is going to be that you're going to have to get your wormers with a veterinary prescription.
Right, okay, yeah.
So that means that your vet has a supervisory role in deciding how many times a year you deworm your horse.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because what they want you to do is the fecal testing to prove that your horse needs deworming as opposed to just deworming when he doesn't need it.
Okay, fair enough. Great way to wrap up. As always, Des, thanks for that, for coming in to us. I'm glad you had a break. And we'll be talking up with Des again next Tuesday, and reminding you as well, we're looking forward to his company next week, and this will be up on podcast later on.
It's a Pet's Life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet, managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.